What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcrier here, and we are less than 20 days until Blizzcon 2018. And with all the information and misinformation floating around out there, I wanted to discuss some expectations and personal desires for this year's event. Let's jump right in and explore the possibilities for the Diablo panels and announcements at this year's Blizzcon. Okay, so the Diablo 3 port for the Nintendo Switch was already announced at Gamescom this year. Now, I do expect some talk of this port at BlizzCon for sure, because it is still relatively new and worth bringing up. But it would definitely not be in Blizzard's best interest for this to be the main talking point of this year's BlizzCon. To build up hype for something we already know about would be one of the biggest PR blunders ever, in my opinion. If Blizzard was to use the first slot at BlizzCon to cheerlead for a 6-year-old game being ported to a new system after already doing so at Gamescom, the fans of this series would feel absolutely betrayed, myself included. And as far as the other non-game Diablo projects, I don't expect them to take a ton of stage time either. First up, the comic books have been canceled, it seems, and as far as the Netflix animated series goes, I just think that it would be way too early for this to even be confirmed at BlizzCon this year. Remember, that infamous deleted tweet was well after the whole Future of Diablo video released earlier this year by Blizzard. And even that tweet itself suggested that this project was not something that was set in stone. And that leads us to possible announcements regarding the Diablo franchise. Let's start off with Diablo 2 or Diablo 1 Remastered. And I do expect that a Diablo 2 Remastered is inevitable and only a matter of time and would excite a ton of people. I just don't feel that this would require the type of hype currently being induced by Blizzard. Now, on this, I can't be 100% sure, and my thoughts here might be influenced by the fact that while I absolutely love Diablo 2, I personally would rather see something new instead of a remaster. Now, this is my own opinion, but if I wanted to play Diablo 2, I would go download and play Diablo 2. I know that there are a ton of diehard Diablo 2 fans, and that's great. The game was amazing and still has a decent following. But for me to want to go back and revisit this game, too much would need to change that would actually take away from that Diablo 2 feel. I mean, are we just talking about upgraded graphics, upgraded range of movement, skill reworks? Where does that end? I mean, I truly believe this would inevitably lead us right back to where we are right now, which is the whole why Diablo 2 players hate Diablo 3, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather see a Diablo 0 or something that takes us back into the history of the Diablo universe, but something that functionally and graphically matches today's capabilities. Now, as far as a Diablo 3 class pack, i.e. the Druid or something else entirely, a couple of years ago, this ranked as the most likely on my list of possibilities for BlizzCon 2016. And with the introduction of the Necromancer, I was proven right. This year, however, I would have to say that although there are possible signs of an intent to bring another class into the game, this actually ranks the lowest in odds of coming to pass as far as my predictions for this year. I just don't see another class pack coming to the game outside of a full-blown expansion. I think that Diablo 3, while I still enjoy this game, would need more than just something similar to the Necromancer pack. I think that an expansion holds slightly more value for both Blizzard and fans of the Diablo franchise. Now, as far as a Diablo 3 expansion goes, I continually want to brush this off and say, no way is this going to happen. I mean, we are now in the 4th consecutive season in Diablo 3 with absolutely no updates to the game as far as balancing classes, gear, and builds, etc. This was something that was happening pretty much on a regular basis, and now that's gone. Since patch 2.6.1, nothing has changed in the game. And as I've stated numerous times before, it just seems that this was a final patch before moving on and letting the game be what it is. But every time I think that an expansion makes no sense, Blizzard seems to do something that puts it back in my thoughts. Porting the game over to the Nintendo Switch is a pretty big deal. It's a 6-year-old game. Why? Why port it over to the Switch? And was patch 2.6.1 less of a maintenance mode patch than a Switch prep patch? Was all of this to get the game ready for something more? Since 2.6.1 went live, we have had 2 or 3 behind-the-scenes patches that we all thought had something to do with Warden and Diablo 3's anti-cheat initiative, but what if they were testing for future possible add-ons? And now we have confirmation of probable future crossplay amongst consoles, and who knows, maybe even the PC version. I don't know. You guys need to let me know down in that comment section below what you think of a Diablo 3 expansion. Personally, I'm still placing this pretty low on my predictions, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts. A brand new Diablo game, such as Diablo 4 or Diablo 0. This is the holy grail of Diablo fans. Blizzard would be totally crazy not to know that the majority of Diablo fans want a new game. While there are those who want an expansion to Diablo 3, and there are definitely those who want D2 to be remastered, I think personally that these are both overshadowed by players yearning for more. Something new, something different. A continuation of what is one of the best gaming franchises in history. And I think we all look forward to the day that what's next is truly announced. While I cannot guarantee anything, obviously, I would actually place this as the highest of possibilities as far as my personal predictions for Blizzcon this year. Even if it's just a verification that this future game, whether that be Diablo 4, Diablo 0, an MMO, or an entirely different venture altogether, is already in its production phase. I truly think it's time. With the panel scheduled for directly after opening ceremony and as the panel that closes out BlizzCon, I and many others truly expect something big, and hopefully Blizzard understands this as well. So as far as my predictions overall go, I would say we are looking at the most likelihood of it being a brand new Diablo game, followed by possibly an expansion or D2 remastered, but like I said, those two don't really make a ton of sense. There are definitely people who want D2 to be remastered, but I don't think it would take up that first slot at BlizzCon, and I don't know if this game can hold another expansion. I don't know if it can hold that type of interest. I love my Diablo 3, but let's be real, it's time for something new. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I always greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and start filling up that comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. What are your final thoughts with less than 20 days to go until we find out what's happening? All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for all the support, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.